Might have to check this one out, too.
Right, he's got the players for it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I wonder who's singing on it.
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, maybe Zach.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Rat. All 2020 shows are being rescheduled for next year. Boy, that's news.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah.
Here to the best news of all the past couple of weeks. Heavy metal loving cartoon characters Beavis and Butthead revived at Comedy Central. That's great news.
Nice. You know why? Because they heard our show and they're like, those guys are like the Beavis and Butthead. We need
those
to
guys
bring
are
them
cashing in on our gig.
Yeah. We had a cease and desist, but we're like, come on, really?
Yeah. Here's something I think I might actually spend some money on. Ozzy Osbourne for president official merchandise is now available.
Nice.
Can't be any worse than what we got now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Truth.
Queens, Roger Taylor on possibility of Bohemian Rhapsody sequel. I wouldn't want to be seen as cashing in again. Thank God.
Yeah. That's kind of what it would be.
Yeah, I just get sick of when people
grab.
keep going to the same rack over and over and over again. Yeah. Axl Rose defends his right to speak out on political issues, not saying something is being just complicit.
Yeah, as long as you're educated in what you're talking about, you know what you're talking about instead of just repeating a meme, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Scorpions have made great progress with new studio album while in quarantine. Hey, good news. Klaus Meine is going to be a guest on Rock and Metal Revival coming up.
No way.
Yep.
No way. The Klaus Meine, or was it a Klaus Meine? Is it an imitator? Like that one guy who imitates Gene Simmons. Does he do Klaus too?
Gas?
Yeah.
Craig Gas. Oh, God. All right, Richie Kotzen would love to make a third studio album with the Winery Dogs, and we'd all love to listen to it.
Oh, yes, I'd be into that.
I was blown away by that show we went to at Potawatomi.
Ah, that was so good. It sounded so great. We were right in the middle, too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome, yeah.
Testament's Alex Skolnick will be ready to play shows again when there's a vaccine and when we can do it responsibly.
Yeah, I can agree with that. You can't just play around and ignore it, man.
Good for him. Striper's Michael Sweet urges people to wear masks, lose the pride and stubbornness, and just play by the rules.
Ooh, man, I didn't know I put that much news about that. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, wear a mask.
Hey.
Protect yourself,
Nikki
too.
Six says he has relocated to Wyoming to reset, restart, and recreate.
See, he must be hooked on those westerns too. Watching that
like
western,
you are, yeah.
That western, because all that stuff's out there in Wyoming in the wild country.
Yeah. Every day when I call to see what Jerry's up to, just watching westerns, playing my guitar.
Yeah. I love to just pick out the tunes.
Yeah.
That's our plan.
Oh, boy.
I tell you.
All right, Judas Priest, Richie Faulkner. We've got a bunch of songs for our next studio album. I thought the last studio album from Priest was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. So,
it's
just not knowing what Glenn's going to be able to contribute, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing what KK is doing with his guys.
Oh, yeah. That one, too, for sure.
Yeah, Megadeth, David Ellefson taps members of Anthrax, Twisted Sister, Tesla for No Cover LP. I'm looking forward to this too.
Yeah, it didn't have a track listing of what they're playing, so I want to definitely check that out because he grew up the same area, same time we did. You know? So I'd like to see what he wants to cover.
Yeah, just a good dude.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Phil Collin on whether Def Leppard's tour with Motley Crue will finally happen in 2021. I'd say it's 50-50.
Yeah. That's what he wants the split to be, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It should be.
Yeah, it should.
And Def Leppard should be making more money on that tour. At least they're playing their songs.
Yeah, and nothing for Poison. Except
I would pay more to see
money.
Poison than I would the Crew.
Oh, yeah. I'd hate to actually say that, but
I just did.
Unless if Vince could get his act together.
Yeah. I mean really.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's got extra time now, so
Yeah, he's going to use that on hookers and blow.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the band either.
Oh, no.
All right, that winds up Talking Real Metal. Coming up next hour, we'll talk to Marc LaBelle of Dirty Honey, coming up on Rock and Metal Revival.
There's Rollin' Sevens from Dirty Honey on Rock and Metal Revival, and we want to welcome to the Revival Dirty Honey lead vocalist Marc LaBelle. Welcome to the Revival, Marc.
Hey, thanks for having me. How you doing?
It's not bad. You know what? I just want to say, first off, Marc, that I know a lot of our listeners, along with myself, want to thank you and the guys in Dirty Honey for bringing back that dirty, fun sounding rock and roll back to radio with your debut release.
Well, that's our mission statement. So, yeah, thanks for acknowledging that, obviously. And, yeah, we're just trying to play some sexy, fun, soulful rock and roll and put on a great live show and keep the train going as soon as we can here once all this blows over. So,
well, Marc, I wanted to ask you, with the way that rock music and rock radio are going right now, what influenced you guys to bring that sound back? Because that, to me, that's rock and roll.
Yeah, I just sort of, it was always kind of clear to me what I wanted to do creatively with the music and the direction of the sound and everything. And that was, my favorite bands growing up were, everybody from Guns N' Roses and the Black Crowes to AC/DC and Aerosmith and Zeppelin. And they're all unique, but they all are sort of pulling from the same influence, which is, blues-based rock and roll. And, it was pretty much that simple. I think we just had to start doing what was natural to us, which was that. And, once we really found our groove writing-wise, that's when things started to take off.
Now, you guys were having a hell of a year. I mean, you had the #1 release, being an independent, and on top of it, you were out on tour with Alter Bridge. You're opening for one of the biggest, if not the biggest tours. You opened up for Guns N' Roses. Could you ever have imagined when you started this whole thing that this is where it would have taken off like that?
Honestly, it was the hope, that you'd be successful and, get some acknowledgement from people that you admire, like, Slash and Miles Kennedy and Guns N' Roses and The Who and everything. But, you never expect that, obviously. So when those phone calls come in from your manager, like, hey, guess what? You're going to be opening for Guns N' Roses here, and you're going to be opening for The Who here, and Alter Bridge. It's like, it starts to become, you're overwhelmed with excitement and emotions and, certainly you never thought that would happen, but it was always the goal,
Mm-hmm. Well, you've got to have record labels now beating at your door, taking that EP and taking that first song to #1. Now, have you guys decided to stay independent, or is there anything on the horizon as far as jumping on a label?
Yeah, for now we're still independent. And unless we get an offer, we really can't refuse. I think it's going to remain that way. So, it's making things easier being independent. There's less hoops to jump through. There's less red tape. If you want to, shoot some content or make a music video or go on tour with somebody, it's just a matter of whether or not you can afford it financially. So, we like the position we're at. Our management likes the position we're at. We've got a great team around us, as I'm sure you know.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're not complacent, obviously, but, we're still ambitious, and I think we like the spot we're in right now. So I don't think it'll change in the near future.
Well, that's awesome because you got all the creativity is still in your hands, and you don't have to answer to anybody. That's outstanding. And like we were talking earlier, you guys had everything just going balls to the wall. Everything was going great before, and then all of a sudden, here comes a pandemic. What has it been like for you guys as a band, as bandmates during these unprecedented times?
It's been okay, honestly. I think we've really focused on writing, and we were supposed to record a record in March and April, and obviously, we were supposed to do it in Australia. That's where we did the EP, and obviously that got postponed or canceled. We're still waiting to sort of find out what the situation is, but it's created a greater wealth of material for us to record when it is time to go into the studio and lay the stuff down. So it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. For us, it's awful in the sense that, like, we were supposed to be in Europe right now, and doing all those things for the first time, which we'll get to soon enough, I'm sure. But we've just focused on writing, and right now I'm actually on a little motorcycle trip up in the Sequoia National Park. So I'm trying to do some of the things that I didn't necessarily have time to do before, when we were scheduled to be touring and doing all the things we were doing. But, it's a good little break, I guess, and to reset and to get inspired. So.
Well, when you do get able to go to Australia to record, are we going to get another EP, or are you guys going to do a full length this time?
I think with the amount of stuff we have in the bank, I think we're going to shoot for a full length this time, and but it's just a matter of is everything up to the standard that we want it to be. Our motto is kind of never to put any filler on anything, so if we feel confident enough that everything's great, then we'll put out 15 songs if that's what it is. If it's 8 or whatever's great is how many you'll get. So
that's outstanding. And I got to see you play with Alter Bridge, and I thought you guys were outstanding live. And I would love to see it be your show. Do you know what I mean? You be the headliner, and we get some live music sooner than later. When do you think we're going to get to see Dirty Honey back out on the road again? After the first of the year?
I think we have stuff booked in August. So that's obviously coming up sooner than the first of the year. But I think like late summer, there's some optimism about stuff happening, and then obviously there's a lot of concern about seeing more spikes in COVID cases in the fall and into the winter. But if that doesn't happen, maybe the fall we could do a tour or something. But for now, we're just focused on the stuff in August and getting this record done.
Outstanding. Well, hey, Mark, where is the best place for our listeners here on Rock and Metal Revival to keep up to date with Dirty Honey?
Just head over to dirtyhoney.com, and you can link up with all the social platforms or whatever, and listen to some music. And we're always like dropping some new content and stuff like that as much as we can, given the circumstances. So.
Outstanding. Well, Mark, you are always welcome back here on Rock and Metal Revival.
Thanks for having me.
They're Sons of Apollo and Wither to Black on Rock and Metal Revival. And
nice.
Speaking of Sons of Apollo, Mike Portnoy is in another band.
Oh, yes. We talked about them a little. Hey, he's in 100 bands. BPMD.
And Bobby Blitz. Man, I don't know why Overkill wasn't a bigger band, man.
I know. They should have been. I think
they should have been a bigger band. They really should have.
I asked him about that. So
did you?
See. Yeah. I won't tell you what he said, but you have to listen.
All right. Well, Bobby Blitz is going to be on with Jerry. Jerry's going to do an interview with Bobby Blitz, and that'll be played next week. We want to thank Marc LaBelle from Dirty Honey. Do yourself a favor, get that EP.
Oh,
that is some good killer stuff.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
I really like that.
Speaking of good stuff, man, I got this one stuff that I've been trying here. It's a new strain. They named it after you.
What is it?
What would you? Well, it's named after you. Obviously,
you said something to do with red.
No. Actually, it's what is it? I don't remember now. Some kind of fruitcake.
Oh, you jerk! Did you get that from the people at Happy Sloth?
Yeah. Twisted fruitcake.
There we go.
There it is.
All right.
It works. Yeah. It works.
And ladies and gentlemen, on that note, don't drink and drive.
Smoke and fly.
Peace.
This brings to an end another edition of Rock and Metal Revival. If you enjoyed it, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell two. Until next time, this is Rock and Metal Revival.
Oh, man.
What?
I'm so high right now. I have no idea what's going on.